So they'll be calling you a radical. Let's get right to this, kids. Okay, let's get right to this. So the run is over. The 2021 run is over. Let's get to the numbers. So let's go here to Stillhead. Okay, there's your Stillhead graph. The last one I just showed you was the wild Stillhead graph, the one I started with. The consumption junkie freak show that's going on right now, right there. The ships come from China with their slave-made consumption junkie gear. The anchor grabbed it, ripped the pipeline out. Jet stream moves, the California current moves this way. It's all the way down in here now. So go team. So let's get to these numbers. This is the smoking gun of Fukushima. Plutonium smoking gun. Okay, let's get to the annual totals. So here's your total right now for the year. For the total Stillhead, 68,344. As you see, the run's over. There's a few trickle in. That's wild. 244,000. Chinook, 479,000. They live here. We're using the Bonneville because it's the biggest by far. The drainage comes up in here, 400 tributaries. Now the Fraser right here has 19 Stillhead in it. You heard me right, 19 returning Stillhead for the year. 19 from 38,000. The Jedediah Smith right here has a few hundred from 30,000. There's no dams on the Jedediah Smith. Salmon don't live here. And Stillhead are salmon. Stillhead are salmon. Oh, they're trout. No, trout are salmon. All trout are salmon. Some are seagoing, some are not. Trout are salmon. 400. All the way through this whole drainage comes through the mouth of the Columbia. These are sonar numbers from in front of the dam before they ever get to the dam. Now stay with me. This is important historic stuff because the season's over. So let's get to annual totals. We'll work Stillhead first, then we'll work Chinook. This is the smoking gun of Fukushima. It's unarguable evidence. Unarguable. There's no opinion, there's no hypothesis. At this point, my hypothesis is this Fukushima is going to... Here's the reactors. There's a little eddy right there. They've pushed the energy, the cores into here. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. It's going to make the Great Salt Lake go dry. It's going to cause fires. It's going to collapse the tidefish. The salmon will collapse. The Stillhead will immediately collapse. We'll go to sea for 1 year. The Chinook will start to collapse in 5 years because they go to sea for 5 years. They'll collapse in 2016. Now let's see if Kevin Blanch's hypothesis came true. Great Salt Lake at normal levels in 2011. Right? Well, you can go to my spiral jetty bait. Let's do it. Type with one finger. I can type about 120 words a minute. Here we go, here we go. Here we go. What a video this is. This is exactly 9 years ago right now. Okay, you see the jetty. That's 9 years ago. Great Salt Lake, a perfect level, the perfect jetty. That's me right there. Where are you at? What are you doing, taking a nap? Okay. There's Rad Chicken Eye. at the spiral jetty in 2014. Let's take a look at it here. Ooh, she's starting to decline, isn't she? Not her, but her. What the? Internet kettling. I keep forgetting they got me kettled. Let's go to this year's video. Oh, here's a good one. I like this video. This is last year's video. She's got, I just met her out there. God, you think she's empty? Look at her scar on her neck. Southern Utah. She's got a... She knew what it was from. She knew. She knew. Okay, let's get to this year's jetty. Cute radical collapse. In science, we call those out. Look at this year. Whoa, wait a minute. No, that's not this year. That's a couple years ago. Or is it this year? No, it's last year. Okay, sorry about that. There it is. I think. Here we go. There it is. Jason Brown and I out there. Whoa. He got an upper visual. Nope. Nope. Ragweed's growing out of the top of the jetty. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, you think she's gone dry? Oh, as far as the eye can see. So let's get back to the salmon numbers. So we've got that handled, okay? Heat bubble of the Western United States. The salmon clocks of the smoking gun. Now remember on the peninsula when everything went dead right here? Last year in 2019, Greenpeace is right here. That's Russia. On the peninsula right there. I mean, you could hear the guy you didn't need to speak Russian. He said the first words out of his mouth was Fukushima. Everything washed up dead, including he filmed 8 giant octopus. You see one of those in your life. The Minister of Environment comes from Moscow here. He's crying, physically crying. Never seen anything like it. It's obvious somebody's cleaned it up, but the YouTube video captured it all. Many YouTube videos captured it. Surfers were saying they had burns in their eyes, burns on their skins, consistent with the cores broke through and got in. That's called the Japanese trench, right? Greenpeace says, we'll get right back to you. I said, as soon as they find out nuclear, they won't talk. It's kind of like right here on the White Sea, right there, where they had the SMR blew up, that Utah's funding. The 8 nuclear physicists from Russia were killed. John Huntsman. I collected the data. Anyway, back to the salmon. You catch my drift. Fish swim the California current, Japanese current. Again, the tributary is huge. 400 different rivers through this whole drainage. They pass through the mouth of the Columbia, 2.5 miles wide. It's the big one. And we get all the accurate counts. So let's get these numbers in here. Let's get the Bonneville. Let's get the annual counts. 2010. Let's see what these numbers were. 2010. Now we'll work stillhead first. And then we'll go to, and the reason we're going to work the stillhead first is because they go to see 1 to 2 years. They can make it twice. Okay, here we go. So 2010, they had 416,000. Now remember, those are big numbers. So gill netting in front of the dam here takes place. Now by law, they can take out half, and they know these numbers. They can take out half of all the salmon. Now the native tribes get their piece of it, commercial fisheries get their piece of it, recreational fisheries get their piece of it. But this has been confirmed by Kevin BLANCH through WWW and Portland Fish Count in Oregon. They've confirmed this to me. In front of the dams, they took out 410,000 to 412,000. So this is after the count. 826,000 steelhead. Now this is by number, not by weight. Oh my Lord, we're down to 77,000. What? They just can quickly drop. Dynasty, not dams. This is in front of the thing. Now stay with me. Oh my, from 826,000 to 77,000. Okay, now stay with me. Let's keep on this. Stay focused. I'm trying. I have a lot in my head. I cover a lot of things. Okay, stay on this, Kev. Okay, there's the graph, as you can see. You can see the season's pretty well done. This is 2021. Okay? Let's get back to the annual counts. We on the counts? Yeah. 68,344. Last year, 77,000. 826,000 in 2010. Dynasty. Now, we can do math. We're way over 90% collapse, right? That's the good news. The Fraser has 19. They're talking extinction. The Rogue, if I understand, has a handful. They're down from 20, 30,000 to a couple hundred. Same with the Jedi Smith. Jedi Smith has no dams. Okay? So we got the handle, right? You got that? Sprout jetty, lake goes dry. Still had collapse. Now here's your absolute smoking gun of Fukushima. Let's move to Chinook salmon. 480,000. You can see the year's about done. 2021. Okay? 480,000. Okay, let's go to annual totals. Now, this is important. Steelhead go to sea for 1 year. They're right back. They can go twice. They're called half pounders, and then they go back again. 1 pound. So we know the number started to collapse immediately. So we have to, well, Chinook salmon go to sea for 5. Okay, so everybody's arguing that. I'm like, no, wait. Now, Kevin BLANCH's thesis is right. They'll have big numbers all the way to 2015, right? Their numbers will be strong until 2015, then they'll drop off a cliff in 2016. That's not going to happen, right? And if it does, this is unarguable evidence. You put that in symphony with Kevin BLANCH's tide pool work, the tide pools have collapsed. Nobody believed me, so I walked the entire coast of California. I've been doing it for years, documenting it. Okay, let's see what happened. Bonneville. (2015), 2020. Now, if Kevin BLANCH is right, his hypothesis, this is a new energy, it's going to break the photoplankton, this will be the smoking gun evidence, it'll be unarguable proof. We don't catch dead tide pools, Kevin BLANCH does. We don't catch dead humans, light the night tonight, 10 years. It's been canceled, it'll be virtual. 13th will be 10 years from the time I got sick. Let's get this right. Okay, let's see if Kevin BLANCH was right. All this year's of work. Okay. 2015, 1,300,000. You can see it. 1.3 million. 1,337,101. Now, I have worked this heavily with ODFW. Again, the gill netting, the fishing in front of the dam, they can take half. Did they? Yes, they report it. They have to report every minute. They took out.
Good evening, Wildcats. This is just a reminder that the circulation desk will be closing in 15 minutes.
Oh boy, we gotta do this
If you have
finish.
any items to check out or
So,
return, please do so at this time. Thank you.
So here we go. They took out 1.4 million. That's been verified. That's native, commercial, recreational fishers, sportsmen. So the number is 2.7 million. They set their projections here after takeout at 1.7 million. I put mine at 680. Boom. Kevin Blanch is right. I put mine at 480 here. They put theirs at 2.3 million. Boom. I come in for it. I put mine at 333,000. My projection. Play back the tape, Your Honor. They put theirs at 2.7 million. Boom. I'm on it again. This is where they came out of denial and they stopped the fishing and gill netting in front. They stopped it. So, boom. Not all the way stopped it, but mostly stopped it. 381,000. That's with some gill netting, not much. But they stopped it completely for the most part. So that number, in comparison to that number, is 240. Well, excuse me, 170,000. They completely stopped all gill netting, 100% here in 2020. 100%, just completely stopped it. None. I mean, there's basically zero. No commercial takeout, no nothing. So you can cut that number in half, 270,000. You can see it. Okay, let's go back. You're going to say, oh, this number's higher than that number. I just told you why. They stopped gill netting. Zero gill netting. They gill netted here. Not as much as here, but they did gill net a lot. This is where they stopped it. Last year they finally said, they're in trouble. So you can half that number. You can half that number. Double it. I mean, that's the hard number. With the gill netting, 2.7 million. There's unarguable evidence. $479,000 from 2.7 million. That's the good news. These other ones are way worse. The Rogue, the Fraser are way worse. Again, let's go back to the stillhead. Just like they said, almost like they heard Kevin Blanch talking, they almost reported me word for word on the Fraser. If these stillhead are coming in this low this year, what does that say for the shrimp down the road? I've been saying that since freaking 2011. It's unarguable evidence. It's unarguable evidence. You can get on the phone, you can call the Rogue, you can call the J.D. Smith, you can call these hatcheries. They're going to tell you that. I mean, you can verify numbers. They'll give them to you. I do it all the time. For you people that need graphs, there you go. That's the stillhead graph. Let's go back to the wild. This is the one that I want to hammer at. These numbers are so low. That's the wild stillhead. Whoa. Wow. $244,000. That's non-hatchery on the mighty Columbia. 2.5 miles wide, this entire drainage. It's the biggest by far. So let's open up this. This is out today. A drop in the Yukon has hurt the Alaskan economies. Don't you love all this panty language they use? Not been, I just proved it. It's not been in decline for many years. This is the freaking NPR. Don't raise your voice. Oh God, it's pathetic. I just showed you that they had record returns in 2011. Record. So as you know, my Uncle Cloud has passed away. The matter to me. I want to show you guys something. That's him. This guy was so decorated, it was unbelievable. The football player. The athlete. He could have played anywhere in the country. Anywhere. He was that great of an athlete in high school. He was a decathlete football player. He took BYU, his MBA from Auburn, but blah, blah, blah. First mission into Vietnam. During that time, he led the military office in 1971. So, in 1977, he was the United States advisor to Japan Air Self-Defense during the time that he led the military officer in 1971 by the Air Force Defense Command. He was the lead fighter pilot in the Defense Fighter Attack Aircraft Eagle 1. It's NORAD. I want to show you his flying crosses. What a guy. But it was his time in Japan. DB code 7. "256 combat sorties in Nam, received 12 air medals, 2 distinguished flying crosses." There's the key. A picture of my dad, the Special Forces Marine. Oh, there was no, oh yes there was. Air Blast 1, Air Blast 2. I have a video where he talks about this, my uncle. So, he was the valedictorian at BYU in chemistry. He's a genius. I was very, very close to him my whole life. Really close to him my whole life. He was a chemistry guy. Probably Dick Conley himself, two national championships here at Weber State basketball player. The coach at Weber told me, he says, that guy right there was the greatest athlete in Weber High history. Coach Peterson told me the same thing. The javelin thrower, the football player, the fighter pilot, he was a genius. He was the #1 guy in Japan for all those years. Hard. Valedictorian in chemistry at BYU. Hardcore anti-nuker. Carboy. He lived here. We used to talk salmon 3-4 times a week. He lived in Alaska, or when he was here, I was like this to him my whole life. You know, our great auntie, the BYU professor, the English professor. I got a lot of my data from him. He fell down the stairs. He had a massive stroke. I got to talk to him right before he died. Those 3 boys, I'll cry. Those 3 brothers. My dad, Uncle Harold on my beach D-Day. Wow. Talk about an amazing, distinguished man. I'll do a piece about him. Just him, but the salmon numbers, I want to get him up. But remember, he was the top guy in Japan. He ran the whole theater in Japan. Eagle 1. That's him. He was the NORAD head director. I mean, he wrote the freaking plan. Personally wrote every word of the new top secret war plan in Northern Division of the USA. He wrote it. You don't think I got stuff from him in regard to Fukushima? Oh boy. Fierce anti-nuclear. Fierce. So the salmon numbers, there they are. Let's take one last look. His death's a freaking hard, serious blow to me. To all of us. I was the closest of anybody to him. We lived together. When I had my open heart surgery, he's the one that took me up there. He picked me up, the first words in, the first words after. My father died. He took the reins on me. I don't know what I would do without him. Always there for me. Always. Just give me a lot of good. One of the salmon rivers that I used to get numbers on ran right in the backyard of his house. None to see, huh? From 826,000, still at returning salmon on the Columbia to 68,000. Good journey, brother.